Hey, Tony Gas is here. Hey, I can't really pay too much attention to the phone. Riding to the airport, getting on out of old Phoenix. Man, it's beautiful out here in this Phoenix. My son say the air is crazy. My son say he can't breathe in this air though. He was struggling in his game. But I wanted to pop on here because something I was thinking about, just like the delicacies of family life. So my wife and I and our youngest son Taylor, we flew out here. We dropped our oldest son off on Monday to the airport to fly out with his team, and then Tuesday the three of us flew out, and my son stayed at one hotel with his team, and then we stayed at another hotel. Typically the teams, they be on a kind of a tight budget, so the hotel they stay in be about a 2-star, 3-star if they get blessed. And I typically like to stay at me a 4-star or better, and so we don't stay with them, and so we stayed separately, and just a mindset thing for me. And today was the last game at 2 p.m. But my wife and Tatum, they booked the flight at like 4:50, and then my flight is at 11:15. And so my wife and Tatum, I flew them back. Now we flew over economy because I had points, and my points paid for the 3 economy flights. And being that we were on the same row, I said, well, I'm gonna fly economy because I'm sitting next to my family. Now on the way back, just them going by themselves, I want them to have ease of travel and just comfort and just everything just as easy, as smooth as possible. So I flew them first class, and then I'm going to fly back by myself. And my wife flew back early because Tatum has a game at 9 a.m. and he got to be to the field at 8 a.m. But my son doesn't get back until like 9 a.m. So he would have to have somebody pick him up anyways. So I booked the later flight just so I could be there throughout his whole game, just in case anything happened or whatever. I could be there, and then I get in about 30 minutes before him. So just that delicate balance of having to split up and go 2 separate ways at 2 separate times, and just kind of juggling the schedule so that we can make it work. And that's the thing that you're able to do, as a married man. And this is what I want men to understand. This is what I want single men to understand, is like, it's something that my wife, she brings to the table, because she has an energy and an attitude and an effort and a presence that is irreplaceable. It's irreplaceable. And my sons, they need it. They live for it. They crave for it. They appreciate it. They adore it. And I can't do what she does, nor can she do what I do. My oldest, he's 16, and so he coming more into the world, meaning learning more about life. So now he's learning more about money. So he's starting to, like, our economic status is starting to dawn on him. It never hit him before, but his friends started to call him the rich kid. Oh, Tony, everybody not rich like you, and they say stuff like that, and it kind of bothers him a little bit. So he tries to kind of tone things down and try not to do too much. And me, I just, I want my kids to have whatever they need and what they want as well, as long as they're doing what they're supposed to do. And I don't really mind it, just because black people as a whole have been beneath the poverty line for so many black people, and then for so many years, like, blacks have struggled. So to be the kid who can have a little more or do a little more than the other kids, and for him to be a black kid, for me, that says a lot, because it shifts the culture. Because now it allows all these other families of these other races, it allowed them to see black people in a different way. And it allowed them to see black people be something more and different than what they used to seeing. So I try to, be a blessing in that way. But that's the thing about marriage, is the beauty of it when you're doing what you're supposed to do. So as a man, I could feel weak or tempted at any time, and I could feel weak and tempted all the time. Like the human nature of a man, that thing inside of us that makes us, lust after women or want to be sexual or sexually active, that lives inside of a man for a long time. And so I have to pray to God for the strength to be able to ignore that, to overcome that. So it's not like men a lot of times be like, oh, I'm gonna get married when I get it out my system. It's never out your system. I've been married 17 years, and that desire is still not out of my system. I just have to beat it with the will and the strength of God, just like you beat anything else. Like, you might have a desire to masturbate. You might have a desire to watch porn. You might have a desire to smoke weed, get drunk, go to the club, gossip, backbite. Whatever your thing is that you struggle with, that spirit that knows that we have a weakness in that area, it doesn't resist. It doesn't flee forever. If we resist it, it flees, but it's not gone forever. This lady, she coming all across the line. My goodness, man. And so that's what you have to realize and understand. Like, this, it's a daily battle. And that's what I try to get some women to understand, because some women have been lied to, maybe by their husband or their boyfriend, and they've been told that, oh no, a guy have told them, oh no, I never think about, or I never look at another woman, or I never have a struggle, or I never have a thought. Not once I don't have a thought. Nobody's saying that except for a gay man who's married. But that's a very real thing. And I have just come to realize that God made men in that way. So when you hear people on the red pill and they say, oh, men are not made for one woman, it's not that a man isn't made for one woman. It's that a man has a sex drive. And that sex drive is rooted and connected to lust. And one thing about lust is, like, lust doesn't just want one thing. So it's kind of like human desire. When you look at human desire across the board, a woman doesn't want just one color lipstick or one color nail polish. Whatever we are into, men are into women. So therefore, a man may desire a woman who is tall, a woman who's short, a woman who has more meat on her bones, a woman who has less meat on her bones, a woman who has light eyes, dark eyes, long hair, short hair. That's just the way desire works. It's just like how you want different types of clothes, different shoes. Just having one thing until you renew your mindset to a mindset of gratitude and discipline, one thing will bore you. So that's a daily struggle that every man, I would say every man deals with. And the reason why I say every man deals with it is because I have developed a lot of discipline to the point that, I don't smoke weed. And a lot of men today smoke weed. That drug helps regulate their emotions and their feelings. And so it's becoming like a necessity for a large percentage of men. Well, I don't smoke weed and I don't gamble. I'm noticing that even teen boys and majority of men gamble, like on the little sports betting apps of some sort. Even men who don't really have money gamble. And then you have porn, you have masturbation, you have these other outlets, and I don't do those things. So that's why I say nearly every man will struggle with lust, because if I've developed that level of discipline and I still have to pray for the strength, Lord, give me the strength to keep my eyes up. Lord, give me the strength to do what I know you have called me to do, to live the way you've called me to live. And the Lord has given me just a program and a plan to be able to put in place so that when the devil tempts me, the Bible says wherever there's temptation, there will be a way of escape. So when the devil tempts me, the Lord has given me a plan and a play to where I go through worst case scenario in my mind, and I picture shooting my shot at this woman and then her pretending she doesn't know who I am, just to be able to have a story to tell, to say she slept with Tony Gaskins, the so-called faithful relationship coach. Because what the adversary will say in my mind will, oh, you know how women are. You could just pick up a woman at CVS, shoot your shot, invite her over to the room. Your wife done gone home. You invite her over to the room, knock her down real quick, get you a little rendezvous, little sexcapade, little thrill, and then boom, hop on your flight, head on home, and boom. But see, the thing about it is I know that that's wrong. Now, is that possible to happen? Yes. I know some men and women will say no, they don't think that's possible to happen, but yes, that is very possible to happen. Because remember, I done been out there now. I done been out there in them streets before, and that happened numerous of times. That is very possible to happen. It's sad. It is sad that women will do that, and that we as men will do that. It's sad that humans could be that nasty, but that is very real. Some people watching this video have had a random one-night stand. Somebody they met in the club. Somebody they met at somewhere, at a party, something, and just went back to the room and slept with them. And that is very common. But guess what? My spirit would not let me rest. I wouldn't be able to rest. I would be in expectation of everything that God has blessed me with to crumble. And so I go through that thought process. I go through that. And then I don't just say, well, oh, God will forgive you. I don't move like that, because I don't take God's grace for granted. And so what I want men to understand is that you are afraid to get married because you thinking you can't be faithful to one woman, and I'm here to tell you can. I'm a living witness that you can. Because I done been out there the worst of the worst. Ruthless, buck wild. And I'm 100% faithful to my wife. I'm here to tell you can. I also want to tell you that, wait until you financially stable, that's not really a thing. Because you could be financially stable today and then be broke tomorrow. That's not really a thing. Like, nobody's really financially set or financially stable. Like, my business partner come from a billionaire family, and he be broke sometimes. Like, everybody has a budget, and he be broke sometimes where he can't do things. And literally is a billionaire. But it's just, the more you make, the more you spend. And so although I built with my wife and we became millionaires, we still are not financially set. Like, we still have to have a budget. We still got to, we blessed, but we still could go broke. Like, it's not like we just swimming in cash. Like, and so That's one thing that has to be understood. So one of the things that men say, oh, I'm waiting until I get my finances right. Your finances never gonna be right. you always gonna have to get up and go to work. And wherever you work in, that industry could change at any time. So it don't matter what you're doing, the industry could change at any time. So that's what I want people to realize and understand, is that this thing real. Okay, 10 East, okay, toward the airport, all right. And then, man, the one thing I hear, so the two things I hear the most from men is, oh, I got to get my money right, or I want to get it all out my system. And I'm here to tell you that neither one of those things will ever be right. Neither one of those things will ever be right. Neither one of them. You're never going to get to a place to where that desire for a woman is completely out your system. And I know, and ladies, just be quiet, because y'all be stressing me out with all that. Oh, a man of God is not gonna desire no other women. That's a lie, because that's who the devil want to try. So it's not that we desire it, it's that temptation comes. It's not that we saying, oh yeah, I want to desire another woman, oh yeah, I want to cheat. It's not that we want to do that, but it'll come to your mind. Hey, do this right here. Hey, go on, do this. Go on, do this now, and hush. Stop being a punk. Go on, get your little son now. Go on, see if you still got it. That's all it be. That's all it be. Temptation. That's why it's called temptation. So that's what you got to realize and understand. That those two things, they ain't going nowhere. Your money ain't never gonna be right. Ever. I know you want to tell yourself, I try to get my money right. Your money ain't gonna be right. Your money ain't gonna be right. And then the other thing, I want to get it out of my system. It ain't getting out your system. But the thing about getting married is, now you got you a helpmate. Now you got you a teammate. I got a quote that went viral, and it said, you know, when a man stop treating his woman like an opponent and realize that she's a teammate that he can win with, that's when his life changes. So when you stop trying to cheat on your woman and lie to your woman and control your woman, like my wife, she real tough. She not like she not like a mushy type person. Like, I have to lay my head on my wife's thigh. When we sitting in the bed, I got to lay on her leg for her to rub my head or rub my back. She don't necessarily just reach over and just rub me. Only time she do that is when she really in a real good mood and she just feeling good. Like she really in love. Like just real all the way. But she's very, you know, she didn't grow up in a touchy-feely family. So she's not really like that. And so even with that, just having a teammate and just seeing her, what we'll try to do as men is sometimes we want to lie, we want to deceive, we want to control. But when you just allow your woman to be your teammate and you go to building with your woman, man, that changed everything. That changed your life. Because now you got, I mean, imagine like it's like kind of like having a manager, like having an agent, like having a co-founder, like an assistant, anything where when you in partnership makes stuff easier. So when you in partnership with your spouse, it make your life so much easier. And that's just what I want men to get and to realize, like, this where you need to be at, Playboy. Like, this way you need to go and get that life together, man. Go and get that life together over here. me see if it's a gas station right here. Get me a little gas. And it's the greatest thing, and you got to get past that fear. And the thing about marriage is you got to be selfless. And I'm going to talk about this later, but something that I've been realizing is that black men right now under spiritual warfare, because I was looking in the public figures and I was like, man, you know what? A lot of people who like have the media, like people who are in the media and they have the ear, like they so when you look at the biggest African-American college football coach, that's Deion Sanders. He's unmarried. When you look at the black television host, Michael Strahan, he's unmarried. Stephen A. Smith, he's unmarried. Shannon Sharp, he's unmarried. I believe even Ricky Smiley, I think Ricky Smiley is unmarried. And I just don't understand it. I just don't understand how men could be in their 50s and not be married. I cannot wrap my head around it. But I feel like it comes from just being set in your ways and not being willing to compromise and not wanting to have somebody to answer to. Wanting to be able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, and that's not marriage. Wanting to be able to just take breaks and just do whatever, and that's not marriage. Like, the thing about marriage is you got to answer to somebody. Like, every night you in the bed with somebody next to you, and you can't just have something new. You can't just go to, see this new flavor of the week and want to just build with her and talk to her all sweet nothings all time of night. You can't do that because you married. And so I don't know if that's what it be or if it be. Now some of the men I feel like may have gone through something traumatic as a child and may be sexually confused. And so that could be a case, a situation for some of the men. But I'm just praying that, we just to get to a place to where we start to have more representation in that area. Because when you look at, I asked a white guy, I say, how many white men in the media can you think of that aren't married? The only name he said was Bill Maher, or Mayer, I don't know how it's M-A-H-R, which he looked like he might be into men, and so that could be his reason. But that was all he could think of. And I said the same thing. It's just like, man, I can't really think of too many, and that's what we got to do better. But hey, this Tony Gaskins, God bless you. Got to get this gas and get on to this airport. We'll talk soon.